Some of the most successful men when it comes to dating women, the most successful when it comes to picking up, dating, and they have a lot of women in their life and they've slept with a lot of women. Their history is just littered with hundreds of women. All of these men have one thing in common. And I'm going to talk about that thing and suggest how you might be able to cultivate it yourself. But before we kick it off, I'm Dave, and this channel is dedicated to giving you no BS, novel, dating advice for the modern man. Top link in the description to learn the sweet art of cold approach with me. And join my free communities. I've got a free ebook in the description as well. So, all the most successful men, I would say almost, I would just say almost, just in case there isn't one out there, but I would dare say every single man that is successful with women has one thing. They all have one thing in common, and that is entitlement. Entitlement is the key. They all have this one thing in common. They just believe that women are going to go with them. They just believe that women want to be with them, and it is kind of this, they feel that they're entitled to the woman, but it's also that the woman, they are entitled to her, but they also believe that she wants to be with them. And it's this self-belief that this woman's going to just come with me. She likes me because I'm awesome. And it's not just an ego thing. It can be can be entangled with that. Obviously, I'm not a psychologist. I don't know the difference. Maybe the ego as well as entitlement. There's some sort of something connected there. But I would dare say that this entitlement, this belief that they're speaking to a girl and she's just going to comply and come along because I'm awesome and I'm entitled to you because I'm awesome. This is the most common thing that I have noticed out there. A lot of the men out there, they have this belief system in place. And I would argue that it didn't just happen overnight. They cultivated it over years and years, and it happened slightly, like little incremental steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. They were stepping up. The entitlement slowly built over time. And I'm going to refer to one of my favorite books, The Winner Effect. The Winner Effect is a great book. I recommend that you read it. Also that in The Winner Effect, he does talk about how a lot of these guys, when they get a small little victory, they get a testosterone hit. He does refer to sports a lot, but the testosterone hit would increase their testosterone and their belief in themselves, which would then build momentum into the second step, into the third step, into the fourth step, into the fifth step. I recommend you read that book. But on top of that, the winner effect is very valuable for building this entitlement. And I would argue that this entitlement can be built in small incremental ways by just say, for instance, if you're at absolute, if you're say you're like the worst case scenario, hardest of the hardest cases, you are a virgin, dating a girl or sleeping with a girl is literally going into the absolute unknown. You've never been there before in your life and you cannot imagine how you would get there. It's so unknown and out of your reality. I would argue that the absolute beginner, smallest little step that you can make is to try and cultivate friendships with women. And it doesn't matter the age range at your level. If you're a virgin and you struggle with women, I would argue that having girls as friends is a great little start. It is an incremental step in the right direction. A non-sexual friend, just a friend, someone that you can hang out with and cultivate some sort of a relationship with, and friend zone the girl. I would argue that that is a step in the right direction. And then try to cultivate a relationship or some group of friends of girls that are more girls that you're attracted to, say girls more around your age range, and slowly get used to exposure to women. And you'll understand after a while, you'll start to if you can connect with women on a friend level, and you can have women as friends, as non-sexual friends, and you're able to keep them as friends and not get obsessed with them in any way, just, this is my friend, this girl is only going to be my friend, that's never going to become a relationship, friend, right? And you focus on that, and you try to build your circle of girls as friends, and never get attached to them and make it sexual and make it weird or anything like that. That's a step in the right direction. And then slowly but surely get yourself a girl that is kind of a regular, I would say a girl that you're sleeping with. You know, you can make that leap, but you're not really that attracted to her. And that's an issue with a lot of guys that get into dating and relationships. They want to go from virgin to sleeping with supermodels, when supermodels are the last step, and just getting laid with any girl is still a victory if you're not getting laid at all. And I'd argue that getting laid with a girl that you're not entirely attracted to is still getting used to. It's a step in the right direction. It's a step in the right direction, and take those incremental gains all the way up. There's many steps all the way up to supermodel, but you can't just go from, okay, virgin, struggling, I know all the pickup community techniques, I've read every book on pickup, I've watched every pickup coach in the world, virgin to supermodels. There's a lot that needs to happen in between there, and I dare say that building up that entitlement over time, and that experience and that belief in yourself, it happens at the most base level of thinking. So a lot of the men out there that are really successful, they do have a lot of experience, and they started out at the bottom. They didn't try to skip steps. They started out and they learnt the basics. They had a bunch of friends that were girls. They had either, so for instance myself, I grew up, I was surrounded by a lot of women. I've got a sister, I've got 3 female cousins, I've got 2 aunties. My grandmother was divorced and single when I was a young child, and the room was just women pretty much. And my mum was divorced as well, and all those women were separated and were just surrounded by women. So I had a lot of experience at a very young age, so I had an advantage that a lot of guys don't have. And I would argue that you can get that entitlement, that belief that you have the right to hang out with women. You can get that. You can build that step by step by just starting out as friends, and then moving to step by step, building up the ladder of entitlement. And the guys that get the most success out there, they have this internal belief system through a lot of exposure to women over time. And you can't really skip those steps. You have to really start out and just work your way through. I recommend that you read the book, The Winner Effect. That might help you quite a lot. And hopefully this video has made some sense. And some of the most successful guys, they do have a lot of entitlement, and you see it all the time. So hopefully that made sense and was helpful. I'll see you guys in the next video.